So look what just showed up. The mother... Update on the computer for those that are watching. The motherboard didn't fix it, which kind of sucked. I transferred everything over, put the motherboard in, exact same problem. I reached out to my buddy Rico. Here's his text. I dropped it off to him yesterday. This was at about 10 o'clock last night. He'd already got it up and run. I'll give you updates on that, but the computer should be back soon. Previously on the Bird Hatch. Alright, so the teen suspension set up exactly the way it came out the box. It's all locked down. We basically installed it. It's actually not too bad. So a little bit low in the front for my liking, plus there's a little bit more weight to be added. Of course, there's going to be radiator, air conditioning parts, supercharger, so probably another maybe 30 to 40 pounds. So that is almost certainly going to go down a little bit more than that. Also, B series, keep in mind the header is under the motor. It's not like a K. Beauty of a K series is the header comes back here, goes down the tunnel. You're not going to bash the header. On a B series, if you have a lower car, come up to a speed bump, first thing you do is smash that header. So you're going to take your key and put it on here. I'm going to do this left-handed, but you see how this goes on there. It fits pretty well. They've got that little collar there, so hopefully I don't lose a knuckle doing this. So you're going to break that loose. You're going to just see a gap there. You see, this is going to let you know which way you're going to wind the suspension. You see the gap is getting larger. So what I do is I usually leave that down to here, so I have a kind of like a guide, and then these are locked together. You can turn any of these to wind this upwards, which means that is going to go down. It's going to raise the car. I would take a measurement here, so you've got a starting point. You just kind of use this as a visual. This will kind of move back and forth, but you can watch and get an idea how much you're raising it by here. But take a measurement from here first to make sure your ring doesn't move. Alright, so the radiator that came out of this is in really good shape, but I just don't like the look of it. I don't like it. Oh, of course it's dripping. It's been draining forever. I think I'm going to get it refinished in black. I like that look on in the engine bay, especially a bright engine bay, because this just looks yucky and it's kind of big. So we're going to go ahead and refinish it, then we'll put a small fan on there. Ordered a heat exchanger. I'll talk about that when it gets here, but right now let me go ahead and clean up some more coolant. So just to give you a timeline, it is 7:20. One of the reasons this car, it looks like it's taken a long time to build, is because I'm doing it after hours and, you know, before work, weekends, that kind of thing. So I'm limited to what kind of time we have. Also, we're raising the suspension up to make it a driver's car. Some people are going to think, you know, wow, you should really slam that thing and make it look really cool. Well, I do have plans to drive this car, and if we are on track, I hope to drive this car to that meet. I don't want this thing to be so parking lot cool that you can't drive it. I should put that in a t-shirt, parking lot cool. Beautiful morning, sun's coming up, it's bright out here. I want to remind you of the meet. I'm going to try and make it with the hatch. So it is Fontana Dam, October 17th. We are meeting up with the guys from Classic Hondas on the Dragon. Bunch of enthusiasts that live in that area. They know the roads. They meet up once a year. We're going to come by now and meet with them, so you're going to get to meet a whole bunch of people. So make plans, make a reservation, go find a cheap cabin, bring your girl, bring your friend, bring your neighbor, make a vacation of it. I'm excited to meet you guys, and I'm excited to just actually get out there and drive and hang out with my friends. That's what it's all about. Life is short. Make the most of it. Enjoy your time, enjoy your cars, and enjoy the drive. That's what I always say, and it really, really is from the heart. So October 17th, Fontana Dam, and see you there. Without measuring it, looks to me about 3/8 high from the back. So that's good. I mean, that will come down once we get extra weight on there. It'll be pretty close. Let's take a look at the other side, and again, we'll measure it once we are closer. Actually looks slightly lower on this side. So this just came, FedEx, Delta T Corp, DBA big ass fan. So look what they just sent us. couple of koozies, and a big ass cup, big ass drink cup. It's taped. Big ass drink. So this wasn't provoked, by the way. They just sent it. I think it's because it's a year since we bought the fan off them. So 2 big ass koozies and a cup. This is nice because we use this to heat up the ball for the S2000 shifter. I used to use another cup. Do you want me to show you real quick? So I used to use this cup, which I got in 2010 from the S2000 Homecoming. As you see, I had to glue it back together. Let me tell you how sad I was for this. It fell off the shelf and shattered. But I used that for the last 10 years to warm up water for the ball on the shifter. And now that's as far as I got. There's a lot of gluing in there, but it still looks like crap. But it's just a memory now, so I keep that right there. So I figured I'd do a quick commercial for big ass fans. This fan we bought 2 years ago. This right here. And this is monster black fan. The beauty of this is it's quiet. I mean, if I get out the fan breeze, listen to this thing. Apart from the noise coming over there somewhere, this thing is dead quiet and it moves a ton of air. That's what we like about it. And it runs 8 hours a day. Florida's going to start getting cool soon, so we won't be needing it. But right now it's close to 90 degrees and it's moving a nice breeze. So that's why we like them, not because they sent us a cup and koozies, because the product is actually that good. And yes, it's expensive, but I would say it's worth it. So brake pads just got dropped off. This is the part number for GSR, by the way. I just double checked to make sure it does fit. So the pads I ordered them for a 99 Civic Si. For some reason I thought they were the same. It was a rookie mistake. Alright, got my big light out. So there's one caliper done. The line is on. New fittings there. There is nothing for that to go to, and I've always hated that. The Skunk 2 ones actually have a little tab, which I like, but there's no pressure on that. That's kind of like the industry standard, what everybody does. Or you can get a hose clamp and make a little tab and bolt it on that way. I'm doing that just for this one. It's not gonna hurt. Zip tying in there is pretty much what everybody does, but I know you guys would give me a hard time if I didn't. So that's what I did on this one. The AC didn't work on this, and the compressor doesn't look real good. I mean, it looks pretty old. Well, just feeling this, it doesn't feel good. If you're not familiar with how this works, this is almost like a free play wheel. This is running all the time. This is a clutch. When this has electric via this right here, when the computer sends the 12 volt, this is an electric clutch. It engages. This pulley now turns this, turns the compressor, pumps the Freon. So when you test a compressor, you're not always relying on this wheel right here. It tends to be smooth. It's this right here, and it feels gritty. Let me put the camera next to it so you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that. It feels like it's broken. It doesn't feel good at all. So I'm not going to pursue this. We're going to take the lines off, clean the lines. I've actually ordered a new compressor, and believe it or not, you can get this brand new Denso compressor off Amazon for $225 shipped. And it's a Denso unit. It's insane. So I'll take these lines off. Next thing we're going to do is clean these lines, and like I showed you on the last one, clean this and dye it black. Clean up the aluminum, put the lines on, get them ready for when the compressor shows up, which from what I remember should be here in 2 days, but kind of nice because that looks like crap. So this is what the AC lines look like now. I cleaned them up, like I said, I used Scotch-Brite on here, and the foam over here, basically cleaned it with brake cleaner and a clean towel, and that is vinyl dye, which is from the brand SEM, S-E-M, and I believe the color is Lando Black, but it works really well. This is just cleaned up. I just hit it with a little bit of WD-40. It cleaned it up. It looks nice and black. This is the foam I'm talking about. It does a good job. So now that can get installed, and then we're waiting for the compressor, which is the next thing to hold us up. All right, so I just picked up the radiator, and I had it finished in satin black. It's like an epoxy. It's a pretty hard finish, but I like that so much better. I think it's going to look better in that engine bay. You see, we got the condenser fan and the new condenser put together. Some of the lines are back on. New dryer, of course, which is probably something you should always do whenever you take the lines apart. Always clean them all out, put a new dryer. Well, the compressor was bad, so it probably damaged that, and the condenser was kind of just dry rotted. But that should look nice in there. It's going to match this. A few of the little brackets put back on. Bolts, some dingy bolts there, but we kind of changed them as we go. I don't have any more 8mm Allens, but these here and this over here is Allen's. Just like that look. It's just kind of a clean look without getting too crazy. So it's coming along. Compressor is supposed to be here tonight. Just tracked it. Unbelievable. Amazon is like changing even the wholesale parts business. So I can't put the supercharger on until the new pulley gets here. We're playing shipping around the country. I'm just waiting to get the new pulley back from GripTech while Sucks they're in California, so the amount of overnight back and forth that's going on here. But it's important to get it right. I don't want to have something that's just okay. We want it perfect. I want to sell you a pulley combo that is absolutely perfect. So I don't want to be fighting that pulley. That pulley kind of fits in that hole back there. So it's easy to put the supercharger in afterwards, so that's why it is off. But it's taken longer because, like I say, it's early in the morning and we're busy. Customers' work always comes first, even though this, I hope you're enjoying this project, but customer stuff comes before my project. I never get those two things mixed up. So worst case, I'm really wanting to take this to the Dragon. Worst case scenario, I do have another car to take. I am going one way or another. Even if I drive something else, I'm going. I just really hope to make this car there. It's going to be, it's important to me to get this car there, but either way, I will be there and the LHT crew will be there. So make sure you come by, come up there and meet us, drive some of the best roads in the United States. Alright guys, so I know you wasn't here for the Porsche content, but I'm taking the Porsche home and then taking it to tomorrow. It's Steve's funeral tomorrow, which if you watched any of the channel, even some of the older stuff, you'll have seen Steve on there. Now, there's no, I'm not going to get all soppy on it. It's a sad thing, but it's also kind of an eye-opener, and without trying to be the guy that tells you what to do, the one thing I'm going to tell you is take the time for those people that you don't see. Tomorrow is going to be one of those days where it's going to bring a lot of us together that haven't seen each other for, you know, several years. But it sucks that something like this has to bring you out. So we're going to meet there. We're going to meet at the shop. There's a whole bunch of my friends coming, a lot of Steve's friends, a lot of people that have come into the group and kind of dropped out of the group, but now they're back again. We're going to see them tomorrow, and part of there's a service in the beginning, and then afterwards, it was kind of my idea, but rather than having like a restaurant and like a, you know, a venue, I said, let's just do a meet, like a car meet, which is something that we've always enjoyed. So it's going to be another one of those things. I'm not going to take the cameras. I don't think it's appropriate. But that's my message. Just take time for each other. This isn't a plug to go to the Dragon meet. However, it's making it realize that it's more important, because it was a plan that Steve was going to be there. He was planned to be at that trip, just like the Dragon trip last year. So if it's one of those things that wakes you up and makes you think about it, we all sat at that trip last year and sat and had this kind of conversation about, what happens to all of our stuff. It's kind of like a semi-joke but semi-serious. What happens to our stuff if something happens to us? Our wives, our girlfriends, whatever, don't know what this stuff's worth. I mean, we modify our cars, and car guys are not rich because every penny they make they put into their car. And what happens to these cars? Are they going to get ripped off? And I think it was Jeff talked about it. And we all said, hey, that's what friends are for. Reach out to us. Reach out to one of these guys in the group. No one's going to see you get ripped off. We all know what this stuff's worth. We'll help you sell it. We'll help you part with it. We'll help you break it down. And I mean, we had that conversation almost exactly a year ago, and there it is. We've lost one of our very, very good friends in the group. So you never know what's going to happen, if that's a message. So I'm going to drive the Porsche tomorrow. Esther's known Steve for a long time. Esther's going to drive the S2000 after the service. We're going to have the meet like I talked about, and it's going to be, one of those memorable type things. So anyway, I'll let the video play out. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, hit the subscribe, hit the like, and be good to each other, and enjoy your cars.